Alright guys, I got screwed. So it's been a couple weeks since I had a 135 video, and I just figured instead of waiting and waiting and waiting for the perfect update video to come out, I'm just gonna get this out there. You guys deserve to know what's going on. I've been working behind the scenes, and we just wrapped up the holidays between Christmas and New Year's, and I'm sitting out here, heater's kicking on. That just goes to show, I mean, this is a raw video. Let me go click that heater off, otherwise you guys are gonna get annoyed. Okay, so anyways, I'm in the garage here transferring over all the tools from my old Craftsman toolbox to my new Husky toolbox, and it's just eating me alive that I'm not filming something, because what kind of content is Jake transferring tools from toolbox to another toolbox gonna do on YouTube? But then I realized, you know what, it's a new year and I've always held myself to this high standard for YouTube videos. I always want them to be perfect, polished, jam-packed with good information, and I think that's definitely what has helped my channel grow. Starting a YouTube channel, I don't know, there's probably some of you guys out there who have tried it. It's not easy. A lot of times you'll just spend a bunch of time uploading a video, and at first you're getting 100 views. So I'd like to think that my OCD, my high standard has led me to finding you guys and having you guys watch my videos. So that's great, but what it's also done is prevent me from finishing a lot of videos. Sometimes I'll get started on a video and it doesn't exactly go perfect to plan, or I feel like you guys aren't gonna enjoy it. I feel like no one's gonna be interested in it. Sometimes the way I had it thought out in my head, then when we went to film it, it didn't quite go right. Then when I go to edit it, I don't have everything I need, and I just get really flustered, and sometimes that results in me never uploading a video. Believe it or not, I've got probably a handful of videos on my computer that are like 80% complete, but I didn't give it that last 20% just because it didn't meet my high level of standards. So anyways, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but that's just gonna be the way this video is. With TikTok and Instagram now, if you guys follow me there, you'll notice I'm uploading way more on Instagram. I'm posting short reels as much as possible because they're getting viewed by a lot of people. With the way social media is these days, TikTok and Instagram seem to be the cat's meow. That's where everyone's spending their time. You know, I've racked up millions of views on there in the past 30 days. And on YouTube, I'll upload a video, it might get 5,000 to 10,000 views, and that's that. So it's hard for me to want to keep uploading onto YouTube, but what I have noticed is YouTube is my most loyal audience. It's the only platform right now that guarantees me some payment every month through the ads that are running on these videos. And I just think that YouTube is gonna prevail long term. A lot of people search for things on YouTube and find videos over time, and you can't do that on TikTok and Instagram. So anyways, I've been spending a lot more time on those other platforms because you can spend an hour making a video and instantly get tens of thousands of views. Where on YouTube, you're spending 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours for one video to get 5,000 views. So that's what's kind of bogged me down on the back end from uploading more on YouTube. But now that we're in 2023, I've realized consistency is gonna beat intensity every single time. I've experienced it in my own life. I've read quotes about it. I've had people tell me about consistency. If I'm to upload once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, for 1 year straight, 52 weeks, that's 52 videos in 1 year, it will always prevail. Even if some get 2,000 views, there's gonna be some in there that get 50,000 views that really help me out and make it worth it to upload YouTube videos. So that's where my mental's at, and I'm about to tell you guys how I got screwed on an engine, not only once, but twice, in just a few seconds. For those of you who've already stuck this far into the video of literally just me talking at the camera, I'm going through my toolboxes, and man, it's bringing me back. Here we've got the dyno sheet, the first dyno sheet from the 135 after going single turbo. And when was this? 2018. Back in 2018, 5 years ago, This was the first run on the dyno in the 135, and it made 752 horsepower and 691 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels. And this is what got me hooked. Single turbo in the 135, man. And then after the dyno sheet, I find just endless piles of quarter-mile drag racing time slips. And this is from one day. There's probably 20 slips in here from one day. And I used to go, I would say, a couple times a year between 2018 and 2020, I think. For about 2 years, I'd go a couple times a year, and I think I threw out most of the slips. But this was just from one day. And here's the slip, the fastest slip. It's probably hard to see here, but it's a 1036 at 124 miles an hour with a 1.59 60 foot. That 60 foot in a manual transmission M54 powered car, I was stoked on that. Man, it just gets me excited. Like, I was just transferring tools over and I started finding this stuff, and it gets that motivation just flooding through again. So I cannot wait to get back. I do believe we've got a 9-second pass in this car. But I found those two things, and what else was in here? Half-mile slips. You guys might have found this channel from some of my half-mile videos. If you remember, I used to go down to No Fly Zone in Rantoul, Illinois. And again, I've got a whole stack. There's probably 15 to 20, and this is just from one day again. And I went to that event 3 times for the weekend, doing Saturday and Sunday passes. And look at this, I mean 168 miles an hour in the half mile. I really wanted to hit 170. I remember this day, it was hot. I'm getting the car ready, we got it under the tarp here. It is 95 degrees and really humid. The wind was against us, but to have multiple 168, 167, 166, I mean, same thing with the quarter mile, 10.6, 10.9, 137 miles an hour, 136 miles an hour, 134 miles an hour in the quarter mile. I forgot how much abuse the motor that was in this car went through. Like, it had to be over 1,000 passes from 0 to 160 miles an hour. It had to be. The amount of times I went to the drag strip, the amount of times I went to the half mile, the amount of street racing I did, just tuning, I mean, and when you're behind the wheel, if you're anything like me, you can't take one drive without putting the foot down. So, man, I can't believe that motor held up as long as it did. When we were taking it apart, you know, you're just taking a motor apart and you forget I beat Dodge Vipers, twin turbo Vipers, all sorts of different cars, you know, from cars you'd never expect to be fast to cars that come fast from the factory that cost 6 figures. This car is went up against. So anyways, I'm again rambling. This is just a garage video. I'd be curious what you guys think of these videos, because it's a video. Instead of not getting any video, here's a video. And it might do 3,000 views. Whoop-de-doo. But anyways, how did I get screwed? So the first time I got screwed trying to get this car back together, I had a motor lined up from someone that I'd met online, and they said, I'm willing to sell this engine to you. It's a used N54 8-bolt engine for cheap. I'm local to B&B, Billiam Mason, who builds engines for these cars. I'll drop it off for him. It'll be a good engine for you to use, and so on. So I said, cool. I hit up Billy. Billy was down to build an engine. He offered even to inspect the engine beforehand, and the guy said that was okay. Anyways, guy brings it to Billiam, and Billiam says this engine's toast. This engine is not even rebuildable. It's completely junk. You want nothing to do with this thing. And that's first when I knew this thing, it started knocking and needed to be replaced. So I had everything lined up, funds set aside, a rock solid plan to start building an engine. That's back when I was convinced I was gonna spend 20 grand and go down that path. And that fell through. So Thankfully, I wasn't out any money from that deal, but that was the first experience I had when I was trying to get a new motor for this. Now, fast forward to just last week. I have been searching high and low for an N54 engine since you guys saw those videos. And given the economy and inflation, prices have gone up. You know, a used N54 isn't quite as cheap as it was when I was looking a year or two ago. That's fine. I'm on a budget though, given my self-employment journey. Shout out Beamer Street if you guys want to grab a t-shirt, a hoodie, a hat, you name it, beamerstreet.com. Every bit of support helps. We set a record month in December from all you guys who supported the channel. I think we sold $3,000 in apparel, and I profit about 40% of that. So, you know, that's $1,200 for the month in my pocket that I still have to pay tax on. But thank you guys. Anyways, searching for an engine. I really want an 8-bolt. If you guys are familiar with these platforms, that's the early version of the N54. Then they switched to the 6-bolt in the later years, which isn't as strong. And I already have the twin disc ceramic clutch that will bolt right onto an 8-bolt. So to get an 8-bolt, it's gonna save me money, and theoretically it's stronger. So the percentage of N54s that are 8-bolt, I would say is like 25% to 75%. So I'm already searching for a more specific engine. And since they're the early models, they're all high mileage. And I'm just paranoid about putting a 150, 175, 200,000 mile motor in this car and then immediately giving it 700 horsepower again. I just don't know how long that would last. So I've been searching for an 8-bolt, I've been searching for a low mileage engine, and I've been trying to spend like $1,500 to $2,000. That's led me to this point where I'm still looking. Anyways, I found a couple engines, they all fell through the cracks online, and then this local 335 popped up that needed some work. The engine itself was still in good condition, but I'd been talking to this guy through Facebook Marketplace for over a week. And we negotiated. He said the car's ready to go. He was ready to get rid of it. We agreed on a price. We agreed on a time. We agreed on a location. And the day comes, I'm ready to go, hit him up, nothing. And you know, throughout talking to this guy, I was ready to go look at it as soon as possible. He had a busy schedule, but I had put off offers I got from Straight Six Auto Parts and a couple other things I had in the works that ended up coming back full circle and saying, hey, I got an engine ready to go. I said, sorry guys, I've got a 335 lined up. I'm gonna buy the 335, pull the N54 out of it, swap it into the 135, and hopefully use the 335 shell for an LS swap. If you guys remember me talking about that. We'd agreed on $3,500 for the whole car, low mileage, rust-free Florida car, just had some electrical issues. Got ghosted. So at this point, I've spent 3 weeks back and forth trying to find an engine only to get screwed again. Now, could I have been screwed a lot worse? Yes. There are stories out there, horror stories of people getting absolutely screwed, and I feel for that. So I could be in a worse position. I didn't have cash tied up out there, but now I'm in a point where I'm ready to buy something, and the idea of buying a full car versus just an engine is way more appealing to me. After thinking about it, say I just get an engine, it gets shipped in, or I go somehow find one locally, which is proven to be impossible in Wisconsin. There's no junkyards here with 335s or 135s, and all the people that are parting these cars out live in Chicago, Minneapolis, whatever. So anyways, picture an engine showing up and me just saying, all right, let's get to it. That's like one video of me putting the engine in the car. Maybe more if I draw it out into 2 videos. Or I get a whole car for slightly more than the price of an engine, and that allows me to say, hey guys, I got a new car for the channel. Check out what we just got. We'll do a full inspection on it, and I guarantee on a 10 to 15-year-old car, you're gonna find cool, surprising stuff with the car. So that video in itself, just saying I got the car, let's go through it, look what I found, that's already one video. Then we could part it out if we want to, pull the engine, that's another video. Save the car for an OS swap like I was talking about, and that's a whole video series. So my brain wants to stick to the vehicle. Instead of buying an engine, I want to buy an N54 powered vehicle where the engine itself is in good mechanical condition. I'm willing to do bottom end bearings on it if I have to. You know, if the mileage is up there and the engine seems like it could use it, I'm totally down to do that. I'm down to do valve cover gasket, oil pan gasket, you know, refresh the engine in a light way. I'm totally down to do that. So I think that's what I'm gonna hold out for. If I can find that in the next week, ironically enough, a guy on Instagram that follows me, shout out to this community of followers that we've built, reached out and said, I'm in Florida, I have a 335, the transmission's blown on it, I took great care of it, he sent me tons of pictures, and we've got a FaceTime call on Friday. So I just wanna FaceTime him, see if the car's legit, see it run. I've got some friends down in Florida, so I could either have them check it out, potentially trailer it up for me. I could go down, pick it up, trailer it back. I could ship it up here. I know BMW Invasion is coming up soon, and I went to that last year, so it'd be great to go to that this year and have an excuse. Who knows? But that's all assuming the car works out, blah, blah, blah. So that is the update. The car itself has been sitting here in the garage, and the nice garage that everyone has been shouting me out for. And I realized, by the way, I haven't given you guys on YouTube the garage tour. That's on Instagram. But you guys, I haven't even given an update. Like, I moved since I started uploading again. We moved houses, me and my wife, we moved to a different part of town. And right when we moved in, I decided, let's do the garage. It's a blank slate. If we do it now, it'll be done. And we did it. So again, going back to my perfect videos, I'm always like, I need to do this video. Chronological order, they're not gonna remember what was next. If I'm jumping all over the place, it's gonna be weird. So I think I just need to break out of that mold. Who knows? YouTube's weird right now. YouTube algorithm is really weird, and I think I just need to start uploading videos. So I've been rambling for 17 minutes, and I'm probably just gonna upload this whole thing. If I cut this and it's less than like 18 minutes, then I couldn't help myself and I had to trim some stuff out. But that's this video. I would love to know what you guys think. Drop a comment below. Follow me on Instagram. I've got a Patreon account set up. If you've watched this far in the video, that tells me you love my content and you should support me on Patreon. I have exclusive stuff on there. I've been putting updates of my progress on the engine in Patreon. The oil analysis results are on Patreon, so I'll link that down in the description. If you made it this far, check it out. Like, comment, share, help me out with the algorithm, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.